Hello. Welcome to monthly update number 6. It is July 2022. I've made a couple of additions that are going to be starting with this one and continue on into the future monthly updates. I've removed the news segment entirely because nothing ever actually happens and it's just me scrolling for half an hour and no one wants to watch that, and no, I don't want to do it, so I've removed that. Also, I have decided that from now on I'm only going to be linking things in the description that I haven't seen or listened to before. So only TV shows, films and albums that I haven't previously consumed will be appearing in the descriptions from now on. I realised I forgot to add a link in the description for the July paintings that I've done in July. So I'm just gonna quickly do this. There we go, that's fixed things. I'm gonna read out the new thing that we're gonna be doing in these. I'll read out the schedule. So, talk about what I've done over the last month, talk about my plans for next month, films and TV shows that I've watched for the first time over the last month, talking about albums I've listened to for the first time over the last month, and then answering your questions, which if you are here you should start asking now because I won't be getting to them till the end, so you should stick around. And obviously these are going to be shorter because I've cut out the news segment, so there we are. So I'll start with things I've done, and things I've done, I will start with the paintings that I've done. I've only done 5 paintings this month because I've been kind of all painted out, but nevertheless I will show them to you. So first one that I've done this month, on the 29th of June to the 1st of July. That is how the months go, yeah? Yeah, June to July. It's entitled Witch, and that is what it looks like. This is one of my favourites I've actually ever done. I just really like it. I don't know why, I think it's the rather restrained colour palette, but also with a lot of contrast with these lighter colours and then the black. And of course there's a lot of layers because I did it over, what, I think 3 days? 29, 30, and then 1. Yeah, so I did it over 3 days. And God, my scroll mouse button is really struggling now, so I really need to probably get a new one at some point. It's a shame because this is a really good mouse, like it works really well, but it's just the scroll button is so, like, it just doesn't, like, look, this is me scrolling evenly. It's so annoying. But anyway, that's Witch. Next, number 18, and this is the point where I pretty much stopped titling them. I'll only ever title them now if a title comes immediately to me looking at it. This is number 18. Oh, and also I should mention something I did with Witch, which you may be able to kind of see. There's a kind of a seam down the middle. You can see it especially on the black, where you can see there's this kind of shadow down the middle, and that's because this was 2 canvases that I then sellotaped together and with rather vigorously so that they don't fall apart, and then painted over the top of, which was the first one I did it on, and number 18 was the second one. This seems much more evident going down the middle there, because I put less layers of paint on this one, which is why it only took me 1 day to do. I did it all in 1 day, this one. It's okay, I'll leave it at that. Number 19 is much, much bigger, This one used to be on my wall, but I realised I never actually titled it and I never actually dated it, and so I could never tell when I did it, and I wasn't particularly happy with it anyway. So I painted over it. It's quite big. It's oh no, that wasn't that one. No, this one was a new one. Sorry, the one that I painted over was number 17, which I took a photograph of me standing next to. This one is slightly smaller than that. But this one was a completely new canvas. But it was a print of something, so I painted over it with white and then added more layers on top of it. And again, it's okay. It's not my best, but it's fine. Number 20 is the other one of the two bigger canvases that I got more recently at the charity shop. And this one is I'm happier with this one. It's very simple. There's not many layers to it. There's literally just one layer over most of it. Just different colours in that said layer, but I still quite like it. I like the square motif, and this was done on the 8th, and then on the also on the 8th, number 21, which is okay, I guess. So that's that. That's the paintings. I've also done an album, Moid 10, named so because it is the 10th Moid album. It's a double album, and my first proper double album. I did one which if it was ever on vinyl, would have to be done as a double album because it's too long. But it wasn't intentionally done as a double album; it was just kind of long. But this one is the first one where I've actually thought I knew at the beginning I was going to make it a double album, and then I finished it as a double album. Inspired by Tusk, Fleetwood Mac, which is also a double album, although many times not as good, obviously, because I'm not Fleetwood Mac, and also I'm doing it on my own, and they had, well, at the point they made Tusk, they had 5 people, because Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, and Lindsey Buckingham, so I just said it, 5. They had 5 people, I am 1, and each one of those 5 people was more talented than I am, and so obviously the album isn't going to be as good. It's also very experimental. Like, the first track is literally just not even a song. I'm talking about my album, I'm not talking about Tusk. Tusk is fully music. Mine is only partially music. Still mostly music, but only partially. Because the first track is it's called Composition with Pub Chatter. And I recorded it in various pubs that we went on a little mini holiday at that point. It's also the same holiday that I recorded the Stone xylophone on, which was indeed recorded on a huge Stone xylophone located in Keswick Museum. So if you people ever visit Keswick, we go there every now and again. If you ever visit there, go to Keswick Museum, and you can play on the same Stone xylophone that I played on for that song. But yeah, and also one of the pubs that I recorded part of, because as I said, I recorded Composition with Pub Chatter in several pubs, and then laid them on top of each other, and you can actually hear my parents' voices in them at some point. My dad is ordering me a small Diet Coke, and my mum is complaining about my dad about how I wasn't going to eat anything on the menu. I did eat things that were on the menu, but she was, for some reason, convinced that I wasn't going to eat anything. And you can hear, I didn't intend it, but I accidentally looped that bit of order, so you can hear her saying, Nathan won't eat so-and-so, and so I can't quite make it out, which is Nathan won't eat so-and-so. Nathan won't eat so-and-so. So you can actually hear my parents have a bit of a cameo in this album on the very first track. And one of the pubs that I recorded one of the pieces of audio in that song in is the same pub that I took the photograph that is the album cover, because the album cover is, I took a photograph of the wallpaper that they used in the pub because I liked the look of the wallpaper, and I thought that'd make a good album cover, and I have indeed used it as the album cover. I tried to think, of how to incorporate like the name, like the text on it, but it never worked out, and so it's the first Moid album cover without any text, like without the name of the band or the album. And as it doesn't really have a proper title, it's just Moid 10 because it's the 10th Moid album. It doesn't really have a proper title anyway, so I thought it didn't really matter. But I was just going to put Moid, but that didn't really work either, so I left it blank. But I nevertheless quite like the cover. In fact, it's one of my favourite covers I've done for Moid. So that is things I've done over the last month. Things I've done over the following month. Well, there's actually quite a few plans, because it's actually quite a busy time of the year for my family, because me, and my mum and dad have just been on another holiday, a little mini holiday for only a few days because we went cycling. And then my parents have gone up again. And then when they get back, there's going to be a wedding because my uncle and aunt, who have already, I mean, they've been together for, I don't know how many years. They've been together for many, many years. I thought they were already married, but apparently they weren't, and they're only just getting married, even though they've been together for, I don't know how many years, like 14 years. That's a complete guess. That might be completely off. But like a long time they've been together for, but they've only just getting married for some bizarre reason. But nevertheless, we're going. I'm going to wear this very shirt, and I've already been wearing it for over a week, so it's going to have a good wash before the wedding. But that's happening, and that's exciting because it's nice to get out of the house, especially for a happy occasion. Because usually, if we're going out of the house for a more formal event, it is because it's a funeral, which isn't as fun. It's still quite fun, but the party afterwards, the actual funeral itself, is obviously miserable. But usually the party afterwards is quite fun. But now, because it's a wedding, it's going to be fun the whole time. And we're staying in a hotel, and it's always nice when you stay in a hotel, as long as it's a good hotel. Which, because we don't have much money, but we have enough that we can stay in nice hotels. And obviously it's a wedding, and you can't really have a wedding in a crap hotel. I mean, you could, I'm sure a lot of people do, and have, and will continue to do so, but we're not going to. Or at least I don't think we're planning to do that. But plans personally for the next month, I don't really know. I don't think I'm going to start, because rolling back a bit to the monthly update, you may notice all my clothes are now hung on my bed as opposed to in the wardrobe, because as you can see, the wardrobe is gone, because it was starting to literally lean forward, like it was like literally the entire top of it was above the bottom of it, and it was about to fall over. And so I took all the clothes out, hung them on my bed, and basically dismantled it, and all the wood from it I'm planning on to make a sculpture out of at some point. But basically we need to get a new wardrobe as well. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing much music, at least until after the wedding, because I want to allow little musical ideas that I have to ferment in my head for a little bit before actually working on them. And the main reason is that because of all the clothes there, I can barely even get to my guitar, so it's going to be quite difficult to do that. So that's that. Plans for next month and further monthly updates. Films and TV shows I've watched. So I've rewatched The Owl House. I've rewatched The Ghost of Molly McGee. I don't know if I talked about that. I can't remember when I started watching that. I think I watched it last month though, so I think I talked about it last month. If I didn't, that's also a really good show. So I've rewatched those. I've just started a couple of days ago rewatching Amphibia because I didn't like that one as much. Everyone else was going on about it. I didn't like it as much, but it's still good. I've just started rewatching it. But a newer show that I've just watched for the first time this month is Hilda, and that's a Netflix one. All the others are Disney. This one's Netflix, and they also have a film as well, and they're going to be doing a third season, possibly later this year, possibly early next year. I don't quite know. Possibly late next year. I don't know. But based on Series 1 of Hilda was 2018, and then Series 2 jumped to 2020, and then the film 2021, so I don't think it's too out of the ordinary that it's going to be doing it later this year, because they haven't actually announced anything. So, I mean, they know it's going to be being done, but they haven't announced a date. But anyway, that's really good as well. I don't really know what else to say. It's a good show. One of the best, actually. I'd probably rate it second. If I had to rate all these shows I've been watching recently, which is The Owl House, Amphibia, Ghost and Molly McGee, and Hilda, I'd say Hilda is probably second to The Owl House, then Amphibia, then The Ghost and Molly McGee. Even though I actually think I prefer... So Amphibia is number 4, actually, now I think about it. I don't know. Because it's complete, Amphibia. It was only one season of McGee. It's quite difficult to calculate. They're all really good, and you should watch all of them now. Go away. Well, don't go away now, obviously. I'm not done. But go away when I'm done and watch them all. I'm also starting to link the actual shows in the description. I didn't do this before. I just talk about them. I only link to the films in the description. I'm not going to go back and edit the other ones because I can't be bothered, but basically, as you can see, there is now also a link to the television show in the description, which is what I'm going to be doing from now on for new television shows. Albums. I've listened to 2 new albums here. When I listen to them anywhere else, I don't bother linking them. I don't know why. It's my system. Allow me to live by it, please. So I've listened to 2 albums, both Oingo Boingo. One officially Oingo Boingo, and the other officially Danny Elfman. But it was, from what I understand, it was only released as Danny Elfman as opposed to Oingo Boingo for legal stuff. But it was recorded by Oingo Boingo. And that is Solo from 1984, and then the regular Oingo Boingo is Dead Man's Party from 1985. Now, when I listen to the others, the first 2 Oingo Boingo albums are really good, and then the third one's a bit of a dip. I think, having listened to these, I think Solo goes a bit up above the dip, so it's better than it's better than God, what's the name of the album? I can't remember the name of the third Oingo Boingo album. It's Only Lad, Nothing to Fear, Good for Your Soul. That's it. Solo is better than Good for Your Soul, but still not as good as the first 2 albums. The best of which is Nothing to Fear, and then Only Lad. And so far, Dead Man's Party, despite the fact that it is the most commercially successful Oingo Boingo album, for me it's the worst one I've listened to so far. I really like. There are bits of songs that I like, but even in Solo, which is, and Good for Your Soul, there are multiple songs that with Dead Man's Party. There are bits of songs that I like, but I don't like any song in its entirety. Because they're just really going down this very commercial route, and it's like they're kind of watered down Oingo Boingo. So, I don't really know what's going on there, but that's that, really. And now, let's see how long we've been going for. We've been going for 17 minutes, and we're already nearing the end, because see, this is how cut down these are now, because I've removed the news segment, and to be fair, I haven't done as much this month. Well, actually, I've done probably more this month as, like, life-wise than I have in previous months, but I haven't done as much art-consuming or outputting as I have previous months, so there's less to talk about, and of course I've removed the news segments. That cuts down the whole thing. Basically, this is the end of the live stream now. These are obviously going to be a lot shorter from now on. So that's probably better for everyone. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next thing that I do. Goodbye.